Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here. I am doing my live action. Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here, doing my live reaction for the mid-season finale for Supernatural. I believe the title of the episode is "Father Who Aren't in Heaven" or something like that. Let's see. Oh, Father Who Aren't in Heaven. There it is. I knew it was super close. So this episode, I'm very excited. I know what's gonna happen as far as characters returning finally. And I mentioned in my last reaction. I'm hoping that since it's obvious that we're having like this big revival of a character, the cliffhanger is probably going to be the stuff with Jack, which I wish it was sooner. I've been curious. Like I mentioned before, I did do my annual thing for every single reaction complaining about not seeing Jack. So I'll definitely complain if he doesn't show up at the end of this episode. It's like the cliffhanger thing. But either way, get right into it and see what the heck is up with this one. I would assume it's Chuck, but I don't know. It's hard to say he'd even have this much power. It's probably someone else. It might be their brother. Or whoever may or may not still be within his body. Oh, he's just weird now. It's just, oh man. That's a crazy opening. It's just, everyone's just passed out. I mean, that's an interesting one. I don't know what to think about that.
So he has an Achilles heel.
Well, I'm saying he has a weak spot.
As soon as he said that, I'm like, Dean's not gonna know what that means.
Like Michael's in hell. Yeah, he was possessing Adam, Sam and Dean's half brother. When he fell into hell with Sam, he was possessed by Lucifer, and then they were all sealed in the cage.
I also feel like
Can anything you do be easy? I mean,
This story just gets better and better.
Donnie, you going
I have
crazy?
no idea what's happening now.
Hey guys.
Can't be Chuck.
It's Chuck.
Huh. Chuck making house calls. That's probably bad for them. It's probably not the greatest thing to come up against. All of that really threw me off. So I was kind of shocked by everything that happened there because I'm like, oh, the normal processes of what's happening here. And I was going to mention stuff about, oh, they had like the chicken wings because he's like obsessed with chicken. And it's like, oh, that's funny. They keep, character traits, little stuff like that. And then God pops up. So that's interesting. The other thing I was going to mention where they were talking about like, oh, we got to, go talk with Michael. Dean mentioned like, oh, if my dad kept me locked up in a cage for 10 years, I'd be pretty pissed. But also, he was really loyal to God. And technically speaking, they were the ones that did like everything they possibly could to make that happen. I'm pretty sure, regardless of anything, regardless of what Michael may or may not feel for God, he'd probably still blame them. Because if they were kind of just going along the path of what God set out, God being, right at the top and Michael being Michael, he'd probably be like, no, that was still you guys. Still you guys. So I don't know. I mean, them being like, oh, we just got to go talk to him and he'll probably be mad at God. I wouldn't be so sure. I would assume that he'd still be mad at us for like, lighting him on fire, ass butt, stuff like that. I think he would still blame them for that sort of thing. I'd be like, we're probably still like really high up on his hit list. I don't think he'd be blaming God, even though it's totally God, because God could have just been like, meh, whatever, snap of the finger, but he likes a cool story. But they seemed oddly optimistic, as if Michael's just going to be like, yeah, it's been 10 years and God never came to get me. But I just don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely curious because this should be entertaining. I love that he grabbed the bucket of chicken.
Okay. Michael, who is in the cage and insane.
Yeah, and who told us that?
Lucifer and Chuck.
That's an interesting... It's an interesting bit of logic. The bad guys would always stop you from doing any of that stuff. But even if he wasn't insane, like I said, I'd still be like, he might be mad at God, but he might also just be like, you guys are the reason any of this happened. Technically, it's all God, literally everything, but I don't know.
We're not looking for trouble, okay? We just want to talk
Ooh, dang. They are not winning this fight at all. They're getting their butts kicked. Huh. Huh.
Hello, boys.
Alright. Alright. Okay. That's amazing. There's not much else to say about that. I love that, and that's it.
When I closed the fissure, it did cost me my life, and my soul went to hell. Big surprise.
Yeah, yeah.
Find him!
I would love a backstory on what she was able to do in hell. Because can she... I guess she could technically still do the spells. That's just interesting, though. I love that. That's awesome. Rowena's the queen of hell.
You killing me was one of the best things that ever happened.
That's a pretty sweet throne she has, too.
Flesh on flesh sex. Amazon doesn't deliver here yet.
Man, that pizza looks good. Man, I'm so hungry. That's a simple pizza, too. It's just pepperoni, but
Back to heaven?
it just looks good.
I don't know.
Eileen, you know, she gets it. She gets us. She gets the life. She's hot. I mean, look, all I'm saying is you could do worse. Okay?
See, this has me worried, because I feel like Sam was the one who always wanted that anyway, like the normal life. It's literally the start of the series was like he had to be dragged into hunting. I feel like it makes sense that they would end it that way, where he'd get that, and Dean is the one that dies.
You're dead.
Was.
I
Now.
love the.
Back, baby.
Michael,
I feel like they're about to kill everybody in this diner.
I can't fail him.
We're about to have a crazy fight, and everybody's dead. I mean, they're not dead, so, you know, that is something. I feel like when he does, like, come up to him again, he's gonna be like, you called me ass butt and set me on fire. Although he might be too serious to even bother with the callback.
You remember me? You called me ass butt.
Okay, I was wrong. It was actually like
Send me to hell.
verbatim what I thought he might do. They always land right in the circle. Bunch of idiots. Every time. Just... Literally, he could have turned up anywhere around him. It's almost like subconscious, it seems. They spawn in, and it's like, oh! I've been trapped. Shucks. It's funny. Every time.
Castiel, what have you done? If my father is back, he will usher in paradise.
No, he won't.
See?
Paradise is over.
Totally fine. Dad's cool. You guys are dicks. Simple.
Which
Point is,
I love that he's walking up the stairs. Like,
parents keep secrets, right?
it makes it more dramatic, but like, he's not even there. It's just, it makes it funny to me for some reason.
I'm not going to betray my father and everything I believed in.
Why not?
I mean, he betrayed you. I never really liked you. To paraphrase a friend, you had an entire oak tree shoved up your ass. But now, I'm looking at you and
Oh man.
I just pity you. You weren't even a star. At least,
It's like
Lucifer
crushing his complex.
trusted. I guess he was always the smart one.
It's a good thing he's in handcuffs. I mean, that's still tough, but in the grand scheme of things, that's very easy compared to if he wasn't in those cuffs and he actually had his powers.
Welcome to the inn.
Changing the game. Okay, so I'm loving this finale. So, or the mid-season finale, I should say. Rowena's technically dead, but she could still be in the show. She's the Queen of Hell, so that's just amazing. We may or may not see her come back again, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It would be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if they were just like, yeah, let's just bring her out one last show, and then she goes back and she's like, that's just her thing. She's, the Queen of Hell. Unsurprisingly, as she even put it, she's in hell. So I was like, of course. The whole thing, the Adam Michael stuff. First off, it's cool that they do go back and forth. I thought that was pretty cool. The actor does a great job between Adam and then of course Michael. But the way they did it's been pretty cool. Like, I'm loving just watching them try to figure out, like, how in the world do we convince the guy who's like, God is God. It's been an eternity. He is God. He will always be God. He will always be right at the top, the pinnacle of everything that is perfection, because that's what God's supposed to be. It's like, how do you convince a guy from, an eternity to the last 10 years, even though, he was stuck there. And like I said, at the very beginning, I was like, he's not going to just flip on God. Like, it's God. Like, that's his thing. That's literally his thing. Of all characters, that's literally Michael's thing. That's like the whole point of his character is like, God. Everything else. Like, that's literally it. So, I knew it was going to be that way. I was like, there's just no reason. Like, they were thinking in normal human terms, and this is Michael terms. This is like, I'm super awesome because God thinks I'm pretty cool, and God is also God, and I think he's pretty cool. I like Dad, and Dad likes me. That's Michael. He should have that on his shirt. But this is a pretty cool episode. I'm very curious to see how it's going to end, like what this cliffhanger is going to be. Thank goodness I'm not going to actually have to wait, because I'm going to watch the new episode tomorrow when it actually premieres. But I really enjoyed this episode so far. I knew I would like it because, of course, mid-season finales are always amazing. But I don't know, something about it. It's just entertaining to watch because it's like, how do you turn this character? And now that he has the truth, it'll be interesting to see how he goes about it, because he might go through with it right up until they need to do it, and that could be the thing that kind of screws them over. It's like, I'm totally with you guys now that I officially know the truth. I'm with you. We're gonna do this thing. We're gonna take down God. We're not gonna kill him. Even that could be their easy way to kind of coax him into it. Like, we're not gonna kill him. We can't. We're just gonna lock him up. So it's possible that he could actually go through with it, but at the same time, I don't know. It would not shock me in the slightest if he was the one, that just was like, I can't do it. It's my dad. I just can't freaking do it. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to see the rest of this episode because I'm pretty much at the end too. So it's about to end really quick and I don't know what's going to happen. Also, we still may or may not end up seeing anything that happens in the darkness. We'll see what happens. But loving this episode so far. That seemed like a Chuck maneuver. Unless, he was able to get past everything he was doing. Although I guess he's so strong, I guess it makes sense. Even if he's not full power, he can shake some stuff. I guess that makes sense.
I'm not even the only Michael.
Yeah, I bet that's probably the craziest part out of everything is the fact that even they didn't know about, multiple universes. God just being like, little creation here, little creation there. I mean, he literally let that Michael do whatever he wanted to do, hopped on over and everything. It was just like, oh, let's see what happens. It really makes you nothing when an entire other version of you just rose to power, and it just didn't mean anything. It was just like, that's cool. That's cool. That's what God thinks. Neat. Everybody's a bad guy. What the F? Oh, okay. I didn't see that one coming. Alright, that one got me. Because I'm like, everybody's just bad all of a sudden. Every old friend. Oh, they're dead already. Oh,
So yes,
keeping monsters.
I will help you. A flower that only grows in one place. Purgatory.
Oh. Oh, he's got a ton of power still. That's oddly confusing. I guess technically the handcuffs stop attack-based magic? Because I'm like, if he's ripping open portals to other dimensions, that's crazy.
Before you go,
It's just easy peasy.
Adam, I want you to know
That was a really good scene. I like that. I didn't want to say anything during that, and hopefully I can actually put that whole scene in there without getting copyrighted. We'll see what happens. But I just want that moment. But that was really cool, and that was also the ending. I still have to freaking wait. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Purgatory, that's super cool. I'm gonna watch this trailer, and then I'll see. We'll see what happens. I won't put the promo stuff in here, just for the sake of I won't have that footage. But yeah, I'll talk about it right after I check it out. All right, so just watch the promo. You have Chuck basically torturing Sam, where it's like, here's my ending. Let me know what you think. And so they have, based on what they're showing, there's like a bunch of different versions, so that should be pretty cool to watch. Because they have Dean on fire. It looked like they had some flashback stuff too, because I believe one of those scenes was the witch that broke into Rowena's place. We have Sam and Eileen kissing here, and then there's a scene where Bobby's about to chop Sam's head off. So maybe the stuff with Dean burning was that may have been an older thing as well. But man, that's interesting. That is so cool. Also, it's April 17th, 2020. That's interesting. I feel like that might be like the actual series finale date. I don't know what date that actually is, and I'm going to check really quick. Let's see what we got here. Because I know it switches days in March. By the time this is out, it'll probably have already switched to Mondays. But let's see. April 17th. If my stupid thing will load. April 17th. April 17th is actually a Friday. So, maybe not. But, I like this promo. I think it's a cool idea where they show us all the different possibilities. So, I'm excited for this next episode. I'm very excited for this next episode because I want to see all these different versions. I want to see the ideas that he has. I don't know how much of the episode that's actually going to take up. So, that'll be interesting to see, like, how much is going to be, like, potential stuff that most of which obviously isn't going to happen, but it should be entertaining to watch. And then what's going to be real. I mean, obviously we'll see the Purgatory stuff. I'm very excited for that. So Purgatory is going to be awesome. These multiple visions, I feel like the most entertaining thing about the visions is that as the season goes along, we don't know what glimpses we're going to get, because who knows how detailed these are going to be. It might just show random locations, but I feel like we'll see these locations and then it'll be like, oh crap, is this thing going to actually happen? Like, they're going to show us these places super early on, but as the season nears its end, we'll start to see these actual locations, because I doubt they could, because it's like most shows, you use one random set for like one episode, but I feel like that would be really cool if they reuse these sets in other episodes. So it's like, oh crap, like the scene with Bobby, this could be like the random spot that he's staying for whatever reason. It looks like a dump. I mean, the refrigerator doesn't even have a door, so it's probably not where he's actually staying. But we might actually see some of these locations throughout the rest of the season, and then it's like, oh, this is where this vision happened, so they've avoided this one, and then it kind of, however many visions we get, as we see the locations from the visions, but it's not the vision itself, then it kind of, it marks it off like, all right, well, they didn't die here, so this location is safe. And then it takes it down. It's like, instead of 5, it goes down to 4, and then it counts down until we get, towards the finale. So that could be it. I'm obviously just speculating, so that might not be the case. But this was a pretty cool episode. It was cool to see Adam. Michael gave them the spell, which was nice and convenient. They even had it like right in his jacket. But I like this episode. Also, Lilith is gone. I'm curious how that's going to play out, because he might mention that. Chuck might mention it to Sam, like, I tried to get Michael to come my way, but of course he ended up killing Lilith. And so they might have a bit of a back and forth with that. But this is pretty cool. It wasn't like the most insane ending like I was expecting as far as, a mid-season finale. It's just more like, it was a really good episode. And then it's like, all right, I'm still super excited, because it didn't end on like, holy crap. So, I didn't think anyone was going to end up in danger. I was just curious what was going to happen. And then, of course, the Chuck thing. I'm sure Sam will survive that. I would hope Eileen does as well. I like to think they'll both be fine. And like I said, that could be the ending where, I think, I don't think they'll kill both Sam and Dean, but I do think one of them is going to go. And I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, there's so many things where it's like, oh, it could be Sam, He gets the girl. He gets to have that life where he'll stop hunting after that. They take out God, and then Dean has to do the sacrifice. And like I said, I think Cass will be fine, and I assume Jack will be fine. Especially considering it would really suck if Jack doesn't come back until the second half of the season, and then he still dies at the end. That would be super effed up. So I really don't think they'll bring Jack back in the second half of the final season, and then he has to make a sacrifice at the end as well. So I don't think that'll be the case. That would be really crazy and shocking. So you never really know. But I'm looking forward to this next episode. I want to see these visions. I want to see the Leviathan stuff, whatever that is. Purgatory in general. I do think I mentioned this before when they did the flash forward where Benny was in it. I don't think he is actually dead. I think he's in purgatory still or something. I can't remember. I know he died. Like he died almost as many times as they have. Like he's died a couple times in the show. So I'm like, I can't freaking remember if he actually sacrificed himself in purgatory or if he was planning to do that, but then he survived. Because I don't remember what happened the very last time he came back. But I think they killed him again, and so he would just go off to he would have gone off to purgatory. So I don't know. I really can't remember. That's the curse of I can't say 15 seasons. He came in fairly late in the grand scheme of things. But I don't even remember what seasons those were. I just remember Benny was pretty awesome, and they had an interesting relationship. So I would love to see that come into play. And I mentioned before, I really hope that cameo wasn't the only time they were able to get him. So hopefully we see him. I should probably Google it because he might actually be dead. I just don't remember. So it might be pointless to even have these speculations because he might not be in purgatory. He could be in the darkness. So I don't know about that because it's been such a long time since we've seen Benny, and I suck at remembering where anybody ended up because most people end up in it's supernatural. They end up in very wild situations at the end. So we'll see what happens. But really enjoyed this episode. Of course, would love to know what you guys thought about it. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. We'd love to know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. Obviously, this will be coming out really, really late. But I would love to know what you guys thought when it turned out that Sue Barish was actually Chuck. Because I thought for sure, I was like, like I said, like everybody's freaking evil. Like what the heck is going on? Like just every time somebody comes back, it's just some BS. This person wasn't able to go to heaven. This person didn't get to go to heaven. Oh, my buddy, he's actually evil. Crazy stuff. And I was like, they're just going to do it again. And she was turned and, like brainwashed and stuff. And it was just like, oh, this is crazy. This doesn't make any sense. And then it turned out it was Chuck. Very interesting. Very interesting. So that was really cool. That was a great twist. Because I was just like, as soon as like the fading away thing, I was like, what is happening here? And then poof, it's Chuck. So he's showing some interesting power in this episode, considering, the weaknesses he had before. He's knocked everybody out at this casino. He's morphing into people and stuff like that. Probably killed her, because I would assume that's how he got that information. She's probably just dead. I doubt he was nice about it, because he's Chuck, so why would he be? But definitely enjoyed it. Like I said, want to know what you guys thought about it, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.